Clayton. Actress Janeane Garofalo crossed the line again during a recent interview with Bill Maher, accusing conservatives of being racist. She said Tea Party protesters were part of some kind of white movement. Listen to this.
It's obvious to, I think, anybody who has eyes in this country that the teabaggers, the 9/12ers, these separatist groups that pretend that it's about policy, they are clearly white identity movements. They are clearly white power movements. What they don't like about the president is that he's black.
We're joined by David Webb, who happens to be a conservative Tea Party organizer, talk show host, and is not a racist. David Webb, what is this about?
I think it's about Janeane Garofalo searching for some kind of relevance. It's way over the top. And as I said in my response to her and actually to Bill Maher, a false charge of racism is itself racist. I mean, they're trying to paint the entire nation or anyone who objects to the president's policies or the congressional policies with a very broad and frankly obnoxious stroke.
No, as an African American, what do you think of that?
I'm offended. In plain and simple English, I'm offended. I organized the New York City Tea Parties. I co-founded Tea Party 365 with Kellen Gaida. I have Democrats, Republicans, independents, unaffiliated people. These are Americans who have serious concerns. We're a policy group. We're a nonpartisan group. And I'm a Republican, but that doesn't mean that it's a Republican-Democrat issue. It's an American issue.
How can this be moved to the merits? Because there have been a bunch of columnists that have talked about the demonstrations and objections to tax increases and to the president's health care reform is somehow based on some white cultural insensitivity or some white fear of African Americans. How do you combat that?
You know, you combat it with the truth. And I use this example that out of all the Tea Parties that started happening in February and on April 15th, the biggest thing is awareness. People in America are now aware. They're questioning. They're challenging. They're reading the bills. You're reading the bills, Peter. I mean, we have to look at these things for what they are and ask the questions. The truth wins, and that's why Garofalo and Olbermann and the rest fail.
We just have a few seconds. When a prominent person like Janeane Garofalo gets on a national talk show and starts appealing to race and saying that people who are voicing an opinion are engaging in a racist fashion, what does that do to our dialogue between whites and African Americans in this country?
It hypes it up between the fringe elements, but in truth, I think most Americans look at it. And I'm actually glad she says these things sometimes because it makes people look at the ridiculous nature of playing the race card when it doesn't belong in the conversation.
Well, David, thanks for being here. And if you ever get the chance to listen to David on 970 here in New York City or on Sirius Radio, listen to him.
Barack Obama, they call the people who voted for John McCain racist, but it was the people in the white community that split their vote. So how can that be racist? Now is the time for all Americans to get your chin out of your chest, square your shoulders, pull your pants up, turn your cap around, and be a man. Let's take this country back. We have no apologies about the makeup of this crowd. People here are people who love liberty. If this country's going to be saved, it's going to be saved by Christians, patriots, and righteous people. In the words of an old black man down in Mississippi who said, when he saw the corruption of government, he said, something gonna have to be did about this situation. Well, we're the ones to do it. If the Congress doesn't want to read those bills, they're gonna read these Nikes in 2010.
You have the right to state your grievances to elected officials. Now, I'm here today because some of the liberals want to say that we're bashing a black president. Well, in that last stimulus package, there was so much pork in there to put a pig to shame. I smell a lot of pork right behind me. So what we have to do as American people, now, the election is not until 2010. That's when we can vote our conscience. But right now, we're doing what we're supposed to do. We need to state our grievances. You call your congressman. You call your senator. You keep marching. You keep going. And don't stop, because we have to take our country back. Aren't you tired of big brother government spending your money? Don't you think you know what's best to do with your money? I know I do. And don't you think it's sad when prisoners receive stimulus checks? Here we are, law-abiding citizens. We pay our taxes, but we have some people in this administration that didn't even pay their taxes. That's only